Omicron and communism coming again. The other indication that the warning is imminent, as I also discussed in my last post, but will review again here, is that communism has come again. In an excerpt taken from the German book by Albrecht Weber, Garabandal, The Finger of God, Conchita told the author in 1965 when everything would be set in motion, quote, "When communism comes again, everything will happen," end quote. The author responded, "What do you mean by comes again?" "Yes, when it newly comes again," she replied. "Does that mean that communism will go away before that?" "I don't know," she said in reply. The Blessed Virgin simply said, "When communism comes again." It is beyond question that this is exactly what has happened across the entire world with the COVID totalitarianism. COVID tyranny, even at least in some ways, makes the communism of the 20th century look mild. Our individual humanity has been globally rejected in mainstream thought. And human beings are treated not as individuals with rights, but as mere potential vectors of infection transmission, and dealt with accordingly under the influence of godless, collectivist, and utilitarian fallacious premises. We have been told not to gather with friends, not to go to church. We've been forced to cover 2/3 of our faces everywhere we go. Hyperinflation and economic collapse is imminent, and the list goes on. This is communism. It has come again. And only those with their heads buried under mountains of sand can miss that fact and continue pretending all is well, and all this tyranny is just prudence. This Omicron variant, which is evidently just a mild cold for almost everyone who gets it, vaccinated or unvaccinated, has now reminded us that the tyranny will only escalate, and nothing but divine intervention will save us. Let's again take a look at a few headlines from the past few days. As usual, I'm sticking with mainstream sources here so that none can reject what I here describe as conspiracy theorist information. ABC News reports, quote, COVID-19 live updates. WHO DG recommends canceling or delaying holiday events, end quote. NBC News reports, Omicron variant spreads across the U.S., dashing hopes of a more normal Christmas, end quote. CNN reports, Netherlands reimposes strict lockdown and UK won't rule out new measures over Omicron, end quote. CNN also reports, quote, U.S. could be in store for a grim beginning to the new year, experts warn, as dual variants of COVID-19 spread, end quote. Daily Mail reports, quote, CDC issues grim forecast, warning weekly U.S. COVID cases will jump 55% to 1.3 million by Christmas Day, end quote. Now the powers that be might not lock us down again precisely as they did early and mid-2020. Things rarely happen exactly the same way twice. But the dread and panic generated by headlines like these will, we can rest assured, be leveraged by the elite to justify an entirely new outpouring of communist tyranny. This will likely happen through governments enacting even more severe persecution against their favorite scapegoat, the unvaccinated, who may well soon find themselves in home imprisonment across the globe, and the conspiracy theorists, i.e., whoever doesn't believe every word of Dr. Fauci and the omnipresent fact-checkers, who may well soon find themselves barred from the internet.